Comments?
Well, I thought this was a good win for us. I just think the fact that we were able to get to that milestone of our 10th win, when you consider the fact that we won all of 10 games last season, and we did it in January. We didn't win our 10th game until March of last year. I thought it was really good that we got the ball inside to Gavin, and not just to Gavin, but also in the Colin and the Rockquez, and that was the emphasis of this game is getting that high-low post feed into those guys, because I thought they were susceptible to post feed and getting the ball into the paint. So I know we had some droughts there where we let them back into it. We got out to that 19-point lead, and it's just hard for young men to keep pressing and doing the things they're supposed to do when they get a 19-point lead, and that's I think that's typical of all college basketball teams, especially young teams. So good win for us as we go into conference play.
Coach, if I told you before the game that Gavin and Roquez and Colin would not have a single foul between all three of them.
Well, I didn't really realize that fact. So, no, that's good, because that's going to be important for us from this point on. I think we'll be probably playing against bigger, physical, more guys from this point on, too. But it's important those guys get out there and guard without fouling.
Gavin came in here and said that he was concerned and worried about his conditioning, and that was limiting his amount of post touches. Is it something where, as a coach, you appreciate the fact that somebody's able to critique their own game like that and make an impression and make a difference?
Well, I think you might have heard that from somebody else. I don't think that's.
That didn't come from him.
I don't know if that was an original thought on his part.
Okay.
So, but Gavin's got to play a lot of minutes for us, and he's got to play a lot of minutes at a high level. And I think what happens with big guys, when they get fatigued, they tend to be late, and when you're late, you foul. And so that's one thing we got to make sure we continue to press upon him. But he did a great job tonight. He did exactly what we wanted him to do in the paint. So conditioning is always going to be a concern for him, because we want him to log major minutes, and we want him to log major quality minutes.
I know he kind of got in early foul trouble when he got in there, but you were able to get Jacoby in the game early tonight, obviously with Applewhite gone, so that's probably an emphasis. But talk about, the role he'll have to play now.
Yeah, I wanted to get Jacoby out there and give him some flavor for the competition, because I really don't quite know what I'm going to do with the rotations now, whether it's going to be Jacoby, whether it's going to be Tyson, whether it's going to be a combination of Jacoby, Tyson. I'm even going to give Tevin a look, because he's been really good for us in practice. But it's so different between competing in practice and competing in games, and especially now we start SEC play. So we got a good feel of what Tyson can do. And so Tyson's always going to be a part of the rotation. Now I'm trying to figure out what Jacoby can do and what Tevin can do. And Jacoby's biggest deficiency for us right now is just defensively. He's got to become a better defender, because he's got something that we need. He's got the ability to knock down perimeter shots.
Gavin's, it almost seemed like his rebounding led to his points. How much do you think that contributed to his big night, starting on the boards and leading to points?
Oh, I thought it was huge, because he got defensive rebounds and started our fast break. And if we don't have that fast break, he ends up getting a so-called up screen into the post, and that leads to a high-low situation. So anytime he rebounds the basketball, we want to back screen him or have him down screen and get himself into the post. So anytime he gets those rebounds, it's probably going to lead to an isolation in the post for him for the high-low.
Now that football's over, is there any discussions for Derunya to join the team?
No, there hasn't been any discussion yet. I think, if anything, that he needs a break and try to get his body ready and healed. So I haven't talked to him about it. I haven't talked to Coach Mullen about it. I'm sure that time will come, but it's not something that I'm pressing about, because we want to be fair to bear on that.
Does the loss of Dre keep the same mindset you had with Travis, still to redshirt him?
Yeah, nothing has changed on that. Yeah, I want to be fair to Travis on that.
Another first half where Colin came in and said that we just had no energy, but defensively they were 1 for 13 from 3, so it seemed like defensively they were shooting the shots you wanted them to shoot, and offensively you just couldn't get it going. Is that kind of how you saw it, or did you not see the defensive end being a problem too?
No, I thought early they got some uncontested layups by driving the basketball, and I thought that didn't have much to do with team defense. I just thought it had to do with the fact that we got beat off the bounce. And I always have this feel, I tell our guys, if you get beat off the bounce so bad, there is no help defense. So we didn't do a good job, we call it guarding your own yard. But I thought the big thing that was the difference for us is, Like, we defended well, but my biggest concern that I had when you come in from a Christmas break and you've been home and you've seen your family is like having a flavor for competition. And I thought, I told them before the game started, I said, do we have the flavor for competition? And we didn't have that at the beginning. Maryland Eastern Shore just got done playing Virginia Tech, so they were into back playing. This is our first game back from the holidays. And the other thing I thought was, we had a lot of opportunities at the rim in the first half, whether it be off of offensive rebounds or post feeds or advantage basketball, which simply didn't convert and finish. And so I told them that would be the key to us having success is what we do at the rim.
What's been different about Gavin? I think the last 2 games, 2 out of the 3 games actually double-doubles after 6 without double-doubles.
Well, I think it's twofold. I think him addressing what his own problems are. I think the biggest thing you have to do when you're talking about like relating to players is showing them tape and them. The first step in that is always denial. So he had to see what he was doing wrong, and once he had figured out what he was doing wrong and he accepted that fact, then he started to work on it. Then we can move forward from there.
You mentioned that the 10-win mark. Does that say much about the progress of the program to get that 2 months sooner than we did last year?
I hope so. But now if we're sitting at 10 wins 2 months from now, it probably doesn't say much about the progress of the program. But I really think it does. It's a milestone. I think when you get to 10 wins, when you had 10 wins all of last season, and I talked to our guys about that. And so now we got to see what we do from this point on. We got to go out and compete against SEC foes now.
What was different about Colin tonight, especially the second half?
Yeah. I don't know if I could pinpoint it, Michael, I would definitely do that. But I just thought we had a lot of opportunities right there at the rim because of post feeds, and I didn't think he concentrated on his three-point shot. He took some threes, but I thought they were open threes. But I thought he made a conscious effort to get the ball down low. And I think when you get the ball down low, then he's a good post player. I think what happens a lot of time is, like we say, he's this skilled forward, but he's skilled in the post too, and he's got to do a better job of trying to get the ball down there and wanting it down there.
Maybe another, teaching point or, lesson for Chicken in the sense he only shoots 3 times and gets 3 points, but he found other ways to help his team win from a leadership and defensive standpoint.
Well, I don't want to learn that lesson very much at all. I want him to get some attempts and scoring, but I think it says a lot about the fact that we were able to win this game like this without Chicken contributing a lot on the offensive end with points. So he's always going to be a major part of our offense because even if he's not scoring, people are going to concentrate on him because of his ability to get into the paint.
IJ, 6 assists, no turnovers. How far has he come from, say, the beginning of the season?
Well, I think one of the big things is I was concerned about is that he had lost some time there in that developmental stage with as a freshman because of the hamstring. You never want those guys to lose that developmental time there. I don't know if you can. I count a turnover when he tried to put the fake ball behind his back and missed the layup. That's a turnover to me, but statistically, it's not a turnover. But he did a good job taking care of the basketball, getting assists. And I thought we had 18 assists on 29 buckets. So I think that's pretty good as a team. Period.
Is that it? All right, next week, start SEC play. Do you want to do the weekly press conference?